another Wednesday night, another week of NXT. We got 2 championship matches. We got 2 night takeover coming for WrestleMania weekend, and we got 2 new sets of NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Ooh, it's about to get funky up in here. Ooh, my name is Jordan Moser, and this is your NXT Recap and Review. To start off the show, we got the 2 big announcements from William Regal. The first one, TakeOver Stand and Deliver is coming for WrestleMania weekend. First night on Wednesday, second night on Thursday, so it's about to be lit for that and just to build for that. But the second announcement, as we speculated, the arrival of the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. He calls Raquel and Dakota Kai to the ring as the winners of the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic and just awards them the championship, just gives them to them, and they're all like, oh my gosh, yeah, I knew this was happening because we beat all of you. And then we see Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon step up and it was like, hey, you might have beat us, but we beat everybody on our side of the bracket as well, which is an argument that makes no sense whatsoever. But they were like, hey, give us a shot, like, we ready. And Regal's like, all right, let's do it tonight. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, they didn't deserve it or anything like that, but why not? Let's go with it. Yeah, this is fine. Love the introduction of the Women's Tag Team Championships. We'll see how they do, and just creating new teams throughout the division to kind of mesh with that, of course, and also Stand and Deliver coming for WrestleMania weekend. Ain't a bad thing to have it on 2 nights either, just to split it up and have a lot of great matches up there to build to. So awesome stuff. First match of the night, we got the NXT Women's Championship match between Toni Storm and the champion Io Shirai. Both women were going for the kill really early on, very aggressive. Io was pretty much taking over though for the first part of this match, just using that flexibility and that athleticism, hit a nice drop kick as well. And as we went into the break, we saw them fighting on the outside. Toni pulls Io off the apron, she hits her head on the apron, and then she just throws her into the steel steps as we go into picture-in-picture. Back into this match was pretty fire. We come back from break. Toni is in control, but Io is working her way back. She hits a nice 619 and a springboard drop kick to boot. And then we do see a really nice spot as Toni Storm learned from earlier on in the match when Io did the bridge. She tried to bridge back. Toni dropped that elbow, and then she hit a nice little clothesline against the ropes as well for a 2 count. Later on, we do see as they're fighting on the outside, Io hits that moonsault from the top rope to the outside on Storm, gets her back in the ring, tries to go for another, but misses. Storm hits the Storm Zero, and Io kicks out at 2. Tremendous stuff there. Toni is just flabbergasted that she didn't get the win. She goes up top for that diving headbutt, and we see the end here as Io moves. She gets on that crossface again as she had employed earlier on in the match, and Toni can't take it no more. She taps out, and that is a win for Io Shirai, still the NXT Women's Champion. Pretty good match, especially the back end of this. Them just trading those big moves was really impressive stuff to watch. I think they structured this really well. Definitely not as good as some title defenses that we've seen from Io in the past, but definitely good chemistry that they have together. So all around, this was really solid action. We do have a small little interview next up from LA Knight, and he's just saying, hey, I'm making my debut next week. You will see me in the ring, and that is just a fact of life. I always love that quote, so I like saying it. Bronson Reed does come up as he cost Reed his match last week, and they just get into it a little bit. I don't think Reed will be LA Knight's opponent next week because I think they're building to that feud a little bit more, but just good stuff here. Kind of showed the animosity between the two, of course. Next up, we do have a match between Pete Dunne and Jake Atlas. Jake Atlas back once again, and this was honestly the best that I've seen him look, if not ever, in a long time, because it was definitely a good balance for him in this match, at least just with the balance of gymnastic work and just like flipping around, which is what he's known for, and then just counter and technical wrestling. Like, it was a really good mix. I'd love to see him just against more bruising opponents later on, because him and Pete Dunne had a really nice chemistry, and just a lot of counter wrestling in this match, especially at the beginning. That was really good to see. Definitely a hype up for both men. Atlas does eventually come back after being worked over on that arm, and he does eventually go for that cartwheel DDT and Pete Dunne was not having it. He kicked his arm off that rope, and then he put on a little arm wrencher and started working on them fingers, man, and just wrenching back, man. And Atlas, he couldn't take that joint no more. He conceded as well for a win for Pete Dunne. And after the match, as he's flanked by Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch on his side, he just says, like, hey, I'm the best technical wrestler in the world. Like, come see me. And he says he's the best, and then he just walks off. Ain't nothing said. He dares somebody to try him. This was definitely what it needed to be. Definitely a good showcase for both men. Pete Dunne just showing off that more aggressive side and just building him back up after his loss to Finn Balor. But also for Jake Atlas, I would definitely love to see him against more bruising and technical wrestlers later on, because that's definitely kind of his wheelhouse in terms of like chemistry with people at the moment from this match. So yeah, this is just good stuff all around. Two short backstage segments I did want to touch on as well. We see Imperium pretty much asking Tim Thatcher, because they have a past, they have a history. Come on, Tim Thatcher, come and bring along Tommaso Ciampa with you. Join Imperium and we will take over this NXT world. And we see later on, Ciampa won't having it. Like, he was like, ain't no way, ain't no how, we planning to fight them. So we know a tag match between Tommaso and Tim Thatcher and Imperium is announced for next week. So we'll see how that kind of builds. Will Tim Thatcher, will he defect? Will he switch sides on this? I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to it. And then we also see Leon Ruff as he's set to face Isaiah Swerve Scott next week. Just getting a lot more aggressive, a lot more real. Like, I'm tired of people saying that I slipped in to opportunity. I earned my opportunity. I scratched and I clawed. And so he's just getting that feeling and that revved up for next week's match against Isaiah Swerve Scott. And I'm looking forward to that as well, as that's been building, of course, as well. Next up, we do have the first NXT Women's Tag Team title defense for Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai facing Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. A really fast start to this match. All four women just went flying at each other, tags in and out. We do see as Shotzi and Dakota Kai are fighting for the bulk of this first part of the match. Shotzi eventually gets on the cloverleaf for a good bit. Kai eventually gets to the ropes, and then they both hit double pump kicks on each other. Had the same idea as we go into our commercial break. Coming back from break, Raquel and Dakota Kai were in control for most of picture-in-picture. When we come back, Shotzi hits a nice enziguri on Dakota Kai and tags in Ember Moon, and she comes in a flying, boy, just moving around that ring like only she can. We do see her attempts thwarted though. The other team hit a nice, real assisted go-to-kick GTK, only for a 2 count, but it looked impressive to say the least. But honestly, Shotzi and Ember in the back end of this match would not let up. Their chemistry and their tag team work was on full display. Just the moves that they were doing. We see the nice little between the legs suicide dive to the outside. Both women hit cross bodies on both women a lot. It was just a really fun time just watching them work in the ring, and their chemistry has just come about in these past couple months, of course. But we do see the end of this match as Raquel and Ember aren't the legal people. Ember goes for the Eclipse on Raquel. She counters it, tries to get her up for that power bomb, and she has a real hard time hitting it for a good couple of seconds. They're eventually knocked out of the ring by Shotzi Blackheart, and Shotzi rolls up Dakota Kai with the bridge pinning combination for the 1-2-3 and the win. Wow, the first NXT Women's Tag Team title reign didn't last for more than an hour, and Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon are your new NXT Women's Tag Team champions. Wow. I don't know if I didn't see it coming. I definitely think in the back end of this match we saw it more a little bit as Shotzi and Ember were kind of on full display, but yeah, that's crazy. I know why they did it, and I get the logical reasoning behind it, but I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like that the first reign lasted an hour, you know what I mean? But I like what they're moving forward to. I like the fact that Shotzi and Ember are champions, and I think this was a good, solid match. Not as good as their TakeOver Vengeance Day match, but a really, really good tag team match nonetheless. So I'm definitely glad for where they're going for this, but I don't know. Something in my mind doesn't like the decision and like the execution of it. I don't know, but still really good stuff all around. Next up, we do see the match between Xia Li and Kaden Carter. Just really fast, aggressive start from the two, but it didn't really go that long. We see Casey Catanzaro. She ends up ringside just on her crutches, and at this point, Xia Li is like, not gonna happen. So she tries to go after Kaden Carter's leg the same way she went after Catanzaro's leg, and Casey was not having it. She swung that crunch like a mad woman. She got a disqualification win for Xia Li, but she was continuing to just beat Xia with that crutch. and that's until Boa actually did something. He got involved, stopped the beatdown, he broke that crutch and just threw it out the ring. Then Caden comes back and hits him with the other crutch, and they retreat as Caden Carter and Catanzaro retreat as well. Yeah, this is really weird. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of looking forward to where they kind of go with this. Maybe this leads to Mei Ying actually getting in the ring for a tag team match between the KCs. But yeah, really interesting match. It wasn't really anything to kind of go home about or anything like that because it was only like a minute and a half. But definitely a good progression of the story and where it's kind of going. And Boa actually did something. Congratulations for moving your feet, cuz. Oh boy, Jordan Devlin is coming to NXT next week. Finally, please get me a challenger for Escobar. Please do something with Jordan Devlin. This takeover, please. Next up, we do have a tag team match between Legado del Fantasma, Joaquin Wilde, and Raul Mendoza against the grizzled young veterans. We see actually Escobar talking with Regal a bit before the match, explaining that he is the Cruiserweight champion with Jordan Devlin, the real Cruiserweight champion, waiting in the wings for next week. But really short stuff in this tag team match. We see Legado, Lucha and get up early on, just taking control. But we do see Breezango make their way to the ring just in their astronaut costumes. But psych! It's MSK, and they're here for the grizzled young veterans. They are distracted, and that allows Joaquin Wilde to roll up James Drake in the ring for the 1-2-3 and the win. And then we see MSK after they just throw their helmets at grizzled young veterans and go after Zach Gibson's hand as well to kind of break that per se. But we do see Legado in the ring. They're like, haha, look at that. And then Breezango actually is here, and they attack as well and just rid the ring of Legado del Fantasma. And then MSK and Breezango kind of get down with each other. I like that combination a lot. Just two fun teams going at it. But yeah, definitely builds both of these tag team feuds for what's going on later on. Eventually, hopefully leading to MSK actually getting their tag team title shot once Wesley is healed up. But yeah, just a good progression of both of those stories going on, of course, as well. And now we get what we've been waiting for a minute. It's not what you think. We got a backstage segment with Dakota Kai and Raquel just explaining like the tag team title loss and stuff like that. And Io rolls up. And she's speaking in Japanese, and she's like, I want you next, Raquel Gonzalez. And I'm like, where was this 2 months ago, 3 months ago? Like, what were we waiting for? Were we waiting for NXT Stand and Deliver? Like, was that really the plan all along? I don't believe so. But I'm looking forward to it every single time. Give me Io and Raquel like yesterday, please. I love this. And last up, in our main event for the NXT Championship, we got Adam Cole versus Finn Balor, the champion. Come on. But we do see a fast start to this match. Both men just going for a lot of shoulder tackles, headlocks, quick pinfalls, you name it. We come back from picture in picture, which is really early on in the match as well. We do see Cole just taking it to Balor a lot, but we see Balor begin to kind of work his way back. He was going after that left leg of Adam Cole, trying to logically lessen that impact for the last shot coming at the end of this match. But we do see him just working on that leg. We see as we're going into our last commercial break as well, them just fighting on the outside. Adam Cole tries to go for that brainbuster on the steel steps, reminiscent to what he did to Kyle O'Reilly a couple weeks ago, but Balor won't have that. He reverses that, hits a suplex on the entrance ramp as we go into our last break. The last part of this match after the commercial break was fantastic. We see them just trading shots, trading submissions, trading big moves, everything that they can under the sun. We do see Finn Balor go for that coup de grace from the top, but he misses. Cole, it's a super kick, and only for a 2 count as Balor kicks out. And it's from here that Cole tries to hit every single move in the book, and it just doesn't get the job done. He fails every time. We see him hit a last shot straight to the mush, to the jaw of Finn Balor. He kicks out at 2 again, and then we see him hit a nice, clean Panama Sunrise for a 2 count as well. And from here, he's miffed. Like, he don't know what to do at this point. And he goes for a second last shot, is just thrown outside the ring, and as Balor follows him, they fight out there a little bit. And then all of a sudden, we see Kyle O'Reilly looking tough, looking vengeful, looking vindictive, violent, like all of that just in his eyes. And Cole looks like he's seen a ghost, like commentary said. And that allows Finn Balor to hit that 1916 on the floor on a distracted Cole, rolls him back in the ring, hits the coup de grace from the top rope, a 1-2-3. It is a retention for still your NXT champion, Finn Balor. And after that match, Kyle O'Reilly won't have it no more, man. He was just going at it, just throwing hands with Cole in the ring, out the ring, tried to go for that brain buster on the steel steps as well, trying to get that payback. He's just being torn apart by like the refs and stuff like that as they battle into the back. And as we see, Finn Balor, he's still in the ring. He's got the title on his shoulder, and he's looking over. He's like, man, what took you so long? And we see Karrion Kross come up out the woodwork, out the frame, and they go face to face as NXT goes off the air. And boy, we got the two main matches for NXT Stand and Deliver made in like 3 minutes. Like that's lovely here. Like I love to see that. But outside of that, what a fantastic main event. This is definitely different from what we've seen from Finn Balor in the past couple months, just in his battles with Kyle O'Reilly and Pete Dunne as their more technical, hard-hitting style. But Adam Cole, he's all big move, he's all high-paced action, and it was definitely shown in this match as these two really have a nice chemistry, and it definitely came about as to Adam Cole's kind of match. So definitely a fantastic main event. The two main matches, like I said, for NXT Stand and Deliver were kind of solidified in 3 minutes in this last part of the show tonight, so I'm looking forward to Balor and Kross, especially if Kross wins the title. Like, where does everything kind of go from there for him and for Finn Balor? And then, of course, Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, they don't have the title, so they're just fighting over vengeance now, which is perfectly fine by me and by your boy. So we will continue to see how that progresses in the last couple of weeks, but all in all, that is your NXT recap for this show. And all in all, this was a lovely episode of NXT. This is probably the best show that we've seen in a minute from the brand. All 3 championship matches delivered. The main event was awesome. The NXT Women's Tag Team Championships got introduced, defended, and lost within the span of like an hour. I don't like the fact that that reign lasted an hour, but I'm looking forward to see what Shotzi and Ember do with the belts, of course. And the opener was fast-paced and awesome action. Probably the best match that we've seen from Toni Storm just in singles action since she's been back here in NXT, and Io continues to impress. But everything is now pointing towards NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, so they got something that they're fighting towards, and I love a brand with a plan. I love it. So this is just an awesome, beautiful episode of NXT, and that's about it. That's gonna be it from your boy. You will see just videos coming out throughout the week. We're looking forward to this Wednesday Night Wars, because I heard AEW was pretty good too. We about to look at that. We're about to check that out too. But that's gonna be it from me. I'm out. Peace. Y'all enjoy yourselves. Y'all take care. Continue to dream. Continue to love each other. Everything like that, of course. Peace out.